Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique War Game Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. What is the Monday painting video? Well, the Monday painting video is a video where I paint a model voted on by you guys. So from last week's Weekly Wednesday, I'll show you a host of models and you guys chuck votes on what you want to see me paint for Monday's painting video. And whoever wins gets painted. Or in the event of a tie, a dice roll happens. So for all my regulars here, guys, I put a love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so today's Tuesday. This is yesterday's painting video. You'll see the full painting video in a minute. But I did the painting video. I went to upload it and I had a problem with the internet. It would not upload anything. There was no internet coverage at all. This happens from time to time. But I'm just chucking this at the front of the video today, being Tuesday, so I can just let you guys know what happened. But it was set for Monday, but I had no internet. There was still power, but there's no internet, so I don't know what went on. So hopefully this will upload today, being Tuesday, without any sort of hiccups or problems or anything else. And, you know, yeah, so guys, sit back and enjoy and look forward to the video. Right, so this week there's a tie between the Void Dragon, which is an absolutely fantastic sculpt, and the Venom Crawler, again, another absolutely fantastic sculpt. Venom Crawler that's covered in webs. See all the webs? Bastards. So as always, because it's a tie, I'm going to do a dice roll. 1 to 3 is the Void Dragon, 4 to 6 is the Venom Crawler. So it's the Void Dragon. So I'm going to get his base ready and start sorting him out and then set my wet pad up and come back to you guys again. Right, I was just looking at the model thinking I have to be very careful because it's very springy. And then I realised by his foot there, it's broken. The little point of connection just there is broken off. So I won't worry about it now. I'll paint his body and everything else, but see, it's very springy. And then when I get to a certain point, I will then super glue that on, super glue it together, and leave it to dry. Once it's dry, then I come back and just touch it up and carry on. But you can see I've done his base. Very simple. Black undercoat and then just some Steel Legion drab across the top of it. Now what I'm going to do, I've only got 2 colours on my wet palette to start with. Okay, one of them being Necron grey and the other one white scars. I'm going to grab one of my cheap flat brushes. I'm going to start with some Necron grey, because I love this colour. I'm going to paint his body. Now this is a layer paint, so don't panic, it's going to go on bright and dye itself down. I'm going to paint all these little energy bits that come off of him. All these little bits on his hat as well. Between his wings. So I'm going to go off camera and do all that and come back to you again. So here we are. Such a difference, eh? Just one colour. Now with the Necron grey, it's actually a layer paint. So where I've gone over it, and I've gone, oh, I give that a little bit more. Then I go over it again. So what it's doing is it's bringing it up a little bit. So like the bit there, just missed that. Get that once over. Just use the last bit on the brush there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with some white scars. I'm very careful about that break there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some white scars over the top, just in the raised areas. So I want to get some really good highlights on there without actually doing very much. This white scar seems to have gone very watery for some reason. And with the energy coming off of him, what I want to do is not do the whole thing, just do bits of it. So I'm literally going to go around and carefully do the white scars across the whole model. When they come back, you won't see much of a difference, but the next stage you will. Right, so like I said, you're not going to see much of a difference. Yeah, it still looks pretty much the same. But if I go close, you might be able to. Some be able to touch there, still wet. I don't know if you can see that on the body or not, but there's the arm, definitely top half of the arm is got the white on it. Now I'm going to go into crazy mode now, guys. So some of you are going to, when I do this, some of you are going to go, what the hell is this crazy man with a brush doing? But trust me, when you see the end result, you're going to be like, wow. So now I'm going to come in with some Aldari Emerald contrast paint. Okay. I might have to wait a few more minutes because I'm not sure if that's fully dry on the body, but I'm going to be painting the body. Now, before I glue that little piece back in, I want to get some contrast paint on it. I might actually just do contrast paint across the body and leave the foot there, and then do contrast paint on the rest of what I'm doing on, but just leave that little bit and then just glue that in. So when that's dry, I can just come back in afterwards. That's probably the safest option. So what I'm going to do, Aldari Emerald, I'm going to cover all of the body. Some of you are going to be falling off your seat now going, what the hell is this guy doing? His little heart's in there as well. So I'm not going to touch his heart. I'm going to get his heart with a totally different colour and totally just make it really stand out. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of his body carefully because of that broken leg. I'm going to only go to there on his body for a minute. Actually, no, I'll just do the whole thing. Screw it. Touch up afterwards. So I'm going to go off camera and come back to you in a minute. Just drop the model on my lap. Oh, I tell you, my heart was purring then. So here's what it looks like so far. You can still see the contrast paint's a bit wet. Now, if there's any little specks of white that I've missed, yeah, there's no panic because when we come for the next stage, you won't even see those. Now I'm going to come with some Polar Glacier contrast paint. Now don't panic, I'm not going to wet blend it. Some people might think that's what I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to do is Polar Glacier. I'm going to paint all of these energy bits coming out of him. Now Polar Glacier is a weird colour because it goes on, as you can see, but it's very, very thin. It's more like a sort of ghost type colour. I'm going to come in and get all of these bits, and it's probably going to have maybe 2 coats. First coat just taking away from the white. I don't know, we'll see how it looks when it dries, but I'm thinking at this moment 2 coats. So I'm going to go off camera and do the first bit of it. So here we are with 1 coat of that Polar Glacier over the white. I think it looks actually pretty good actually. I don't know if I'm going to come back for a second coat or not, I don't know. But it looks pretty good. There's a few little areas like where it's pulling together. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I did actually put some super glue just between the 2 little joints because my super glue is on a brush, that's nice and easy. So now I definitely have to leave all that contrast paint to dry and super glue to dry, and then I'll come back when it's fully dried, and hopefully the Polar Glacier doesn't pull too much in one place or run off too much, because it's all like windy little vines, so the paint will start to try and run down. Hopefully it doesn't do too much of that, and I'll see you in a minute. So here we are. It's all glued, which is nice. It's not as springy as he was, which is nice. I really like that blue and the way that's come out with the white. There was only 1 coat. Now, where it's pulled, you can see where it's pulled together. It actually looks pretty cool, especially on the wings. The body looks nice, the way that I want it. So now what I've got is I've got some Vulcan Green on the wet palette. I'm going to just take a little bit of it. I'm going to come into all these little bits here, like this. And just come around and just get that. Okay. His blade on his towel I'm going to get. His blade of his spear I'm going to get. It'll be a long ass. Well, not a long ass way of doing it, but it's going to be loads of little bits I have to do before I can touch them up with some nicer, brighter colours. But with his spear, sorry, I'm going to come in, just get all the blade, and I want to try and just get a little twisty bit. That's what I'm going to get. Maybe I should have done a little bit in the middle with the lighting effect. Doesn't matter. I don't want to get the whole of the spear. I only want to get the dangerous end. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of that. Come back to you again. Nice little shade of green on that then, on the spear on the towel. Now I'm going to come in with some Mechanica Standard Grey. And this is going to be a mad one. So I'm going to paint all the stonework that's here. Yeah. And I'm going to paint all of this stonework. The scarabs crawling over everything, so just be careful what I get. I just want to get a nice little bit of grey on there, ready for when I come in with a different colour to highlight it up. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of it all off camera. Right, so here we are. I think I've got all the bits of rock. I'm not sure. Now I'm going to come with some kinetic alloy, and I'm going to get the spinal columns of this bad boy. But the spinal column isn't the void dragon. The spinal column is the little being on his back that's enslaving him, because he is an enslaved star god, even if he is as powerful as he is. So I'm going to do all the spine with this Runelord brass. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, you don't need to see me doing the whole thing. I'm going to go camera and do the rest. Right, so here we are so far. I'm very cautious of this model because I thought it was broken. I love the way the Runelord brass works. It's like a sort of brassy steel type of look. It's absolutely, this light's doing it justice. It's absolutely fantastic. And because I put that on, you can see how the green's coming out now. Look, whereas before that went on, the green wasn't that visible. It's absolutely, I'm really happy with it so far. Just not sure about his head. I've got a few ideas for bits and pieces. And his wings are, and I sort of know what I'm going to do. But I've still got, look up here, see the little circle on his wings there? I've still got all those to do. Across his head and his shoulders. The little beast that snares him. Actually did a Runelord brass there as well, but again, there's little circles there for me to sort out. So I'm going to just have a little think about things. I know one thing I forgot to do, all the little scarabs. So I'm going to go over and do the little scarabs with the Runelord brass whilst I'm having to think about the other colours. I'll come back to you then, guys. Yeah, that's fantastic. So now I'm going to go with some polished blue, and I'm going to do the usual bit on top of the carapace. I was going to do the wings, but I said to myself no, because do something else for the wings, I'm afraid, something a bit more tasty. So I'm going to do that blue across that back carapace and come back to you for the next bit. So now I'm going to come with some Retributorama. I'm going to just do all the wing panels and all of these bits. All of these bits here. I've done on camera, that's good. Make sure that what I'm showing you is on camera. So we're completely painting the backside. Also going to get his helmet. all his headgear and the outside of his helmet. I'm going to do all that off camera and come back to you again, guys. So here's where we're at. I've actually chucked some Neutron grey in there because if you look in those little bits, there's some really nice details I'm going to really pick out. Now I'm going to come in with some corn red, and I'm going to pick out his eye socket. Grab this little bit up here as well, and I'm going to pick out the eye socket. Mr. Man at the back. I'm going to just do a bit better off camera. Come back to you again. Okay, so I've got some Screaming Skull on the wet palette. Sorry, that's what it looks like at the moment. I got some Screaming Skull on the wet palette because there's a couple of skulls. There's one there. There's another one over here. But I've also missed the scarab. There's one there. There's another one. That's the other one. There's a few of them that I've missed. So I'm going to get the skull, then just touch those scarabs as well. The skull's going to be done with Screaming Skull, and then I'll come back to you for the next bit. So what I'm going to do now is come in with some Druki Violet, which is a shade. And I'm going to put it in here. Like I said, there's some amazing details in here. I just want to get all of those bits. So little cracks in the wing. So we get all of that. Do both sides. And anything with this wash, I need to just make sure it doesn't pull together. So it will try and run down to the lowest point. Usually be in the recesses, but when it's vertical like this, it does try to get into run off elsewhere. Right. So for all intensive purposes, this model is battle ready. There's some of you going to say, you've done nothing else to the sphere. We're going to do that now. There's so many different things you can do with this now. You can just add so many different colours and different textures and stuff like that. But we're going to come in with some Moot Green. This is the airbrush version, so it's already watered down. Get some on my wet palette. I'm going to put in, I've got some Skull White on there anyway, also White Scars. And I'm going to just put it next to the White Scars to give me, so I can lighten it up if I need to. What we're going to do with the weapon is we're going to just water down some of that Moot Green even more. We're going to come along and we're aiming for just a little sort of an edge highlight along the sharpest edges. Now it's not going to dry as bright as that, but this is the first bit that we want to do. Same bit again. Going to edge highlight this. So I say edge highlight. I forgot to say for everyone that's new. When the model's battle ready, it means you can whack it straight on the table. When you take it beyond battle readiness, that could be a dry brush, that could be an edge highlight, that could be a wash down. There's so many different things you can do just to top the model up even more. Because this Moot Green is very watered down. Yeah, look at the sphere now. Yeah, it dries very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do then is come in with a little bit more. Just go try and go over as much as the same area as I did. I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute and then come back. Sorry, my excitement, I forgot. So I'm going to go back to the mint green. I'm going to come in here. This is very watered down. I'm going to put it in and I'm going to sort of run it along that line. That's what we're going for. Okay. Let's do it again on this one. Now when I'm doing this with the mint, especially with the mint green, it doesn't matter if I hit this edge here, so it gives it like a more glow effect. So I'm going to do the rest of the stones and then come back to you again. Right, so that's how that looks. I'm going to come in with some mint green again and just try and just touch it along this bit a bit more, just to give us that, just to keep bringing that green up and brighten bits of that green up. Leave that to dry for a few minutes. Right, so now I've mixed the mint green with some white scars. I'm going to come in. I'm just going to not do the whole thing, just do bits of it. It's going to give me a totally different. This is very watered down. I don't want it to dominate the spear, but I do want to add a light bit of green to it. Same with the weapon here. Messed up a little bit there, I think. Just drop a little few bits here and there. A little spirally bit. I'm going to leave that for a few minutes and then come back for the next bit to do on that. I'm now going to come in with a bit of white scars. Water it down a little bit. When I come in, just put it onto the face and just move it around a little bit. Just the faintest little bit, just to give me just to break up that red a little bit. Let's get this guy. Now what I'm going to do is come in, drop a little bit in there. So what that does is that just really just brightens it up even more. That's one that's not done. That's one that's had the white bit into it. I'll go off camera and do the rest of those. Right, so I also got a little bit of white scars. Just went over the top of the skull. Just make it pop out even more. Looking good. Now it's on to some dry brushing. This is the bit that freaks people out the most, or that I'm going to freak people out the most with this bit, because I've got crazy ass dry brushing in my head. Whether it works or not, I don't know. Right, we'll start with the easiest one. So I'm Screaming Skull, and I'm going to just dry brush. It's a bit too much. Oh my goodness me! The dry brush the rocks. Something's wrong with the dry brush. It's such as a rock, that's why. I'm not going to record all of this, I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. Because Screaming Skull is a layer paint, so it goes on bright and dull itself down. So add some nice different textures to that rock. I'm going to have Cameron do the rest. How much is transform those rocks. Now I'm going to come with some white scars. And on the same brush, the same thing, but I'm not going to get every single bit. I'm going to try and aim for bits that I've not got with the white scars, just to add a different bit of text. There's a different bit of shading to the rock really. So there's some really bright bits and there's some darker bits. So I keep wondering off camera, too into painting this model. Now I'm going to come in, just give this a little brush down with the bit of white scars. Not too confident, not too happy with that blade. To be honest with you, not too happy with it at all. I think I've cocked that up. Now I'm going to get ready for the next dry brush. Now this is the dry brush that's going to blow everyone's mind. So now I've got some Storm Host Silver. And I'm going to dry brush the man. Some of you are going to freak out here. Go, what the hell is this crazy man with a brush doing? Just trust the process. You'll see such an amazing transformation of the Catan himself. You can already see how amazing that looks. So I'm going to have Cameron do the rest. And look at that. Now this is still a little wet, but this is Storm Host Silver, so layer paint, so it will dull itself down. But that gives me such a... Now it's just this bad boy. I've got to sort this mother trucker out. I'm going to give it a few minutes and have an idea what I'm going to do with him. Right, so apart from getting Storm Host Silver all over my hands, so it's going to leak out the bottom of the pot, back of the pot. I'm going to go in with some Niblet Green, which is a dry brush, dry paint. So anyone that doesn't know Niblet Green, that's what it looks like. It looks like just clay crap. When I first looked at it, what the hell is this? But this stuff is amazing. I take it onto my brush, dry brush it off as normal. And I'm going to come in. I'm not going to. I want to stab it. It's not quite kind of working. Okay, let's just come in with a. Definitely get this. What that's going to do is going to give me a nice glow effect. The big green is actually, I love the big green. It's the only dry paint I've ever used, but I do love it. It's a fantastic colour. Let's sort it out a little bit more. Give it a bit more definition. I mean, I'm not too happy with it, but I'm not going to mess around. I'll probably just call that it, because I'm not a big, when it comes to painting, I'm not a big over the top on weapons. Necron weapons need a bit of tastiness because, you know, they're just big chunky weapons. But I think the man himself speaks volumes for what I need. There's something missing from his eye. I'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to come with some troll slough orange. I'm going to water it down, so I want it really wet. I'm going to come in, I'm just going to just chuck a little bit. I see my hand coming through the back of it. Oh, how did I get orange on his chest? I don't know. And this little guy in the back here needs a little bit of something. Just to change up a little bit. There we go. I think that looks a lot better. Now, this guy's all done. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, because it means the world to me. If turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Everyone please smash the thumbs up button, because YouTube shares this video with more and more people. Thank you everyone for voting. Absolutely fantastic model, and I'm glad it's finally painted. I'm going to bring you down and show you some pretty pictures. But again guys, thank you everyone that voted, and thank you everyone watching. Hit the buttons for me. I'll show you pretty pictures. Until next time guys, take it easy.